Hey, CrossFitters, welcome back. It's Coach Bob here at CrossFit Glen Burnie. And today, if you're going to be doing deadlifts, I've got some great information that I want to share with you that's going to help us, first of all, make sure that we have the mechanics dialed in. And then second of all, make sure that we are integrating proper breathing technique so that we can protect our lower back. So I've got two folks that are going to help me explain this. The first one's James Hobart from the CrossFit Seminar staff, and James is going to go over the mechanics of the movement. This is from a CrossFit Level 1 seminar, but it highlights a lot of what we're looking for and the fundamentals of the deadlift and the mechanics of the deadlift. Let's get those mechanics dialed in and then consistently perform them. And that's why in the class, we practice these movements in our skill sessions before the workout so that we can make sure that we get the mechanics and the consistency of the movement way before we add load and intensity on the bar. The second guest that I have is Ray Regno. And I took a couple of seminars with Ray, and he's going to explain a little bit about how the breathing should be done properly so that we can brace properly when we're doing our deadlift. And I think these two pieces are the most important part, arguably, in getting our deadlift right. So hopefully this information is something that you'll be able to practice while you're doing your deadlifts.
So John goes down to setup position for me. All right, I might make a quick fix here. For me, where his shoulder is, we're kind of just flirting with being pretty darn close to behind the bar, which we never want. So John, I might just pick your hips up a little bit. Make sure you wiggle your toes so I can see you rooted back in the heels. I like that a little bit better. And stand. Now what I want you guys to do, we're gonna look at this in three different ways. The first place I wanna look is at the back itself. So if he goes down to setup position, keep those hips high, hips high, hips high, there you go. We should see that the back angle stays the same as the bar comes up to the knee. You're gonna pull super slow, John, and we're gonna stand. And stand. That one was actually a little bit better than we started. And here's another way we can look at this. Back down to mid-shin. Okay, I want you guys to watch the knee. You should actually see the knee slide back as he starts to stand. And stand. Good. And then lock that leg out as you stand up. So once you get past the knee, John, you're kind of keeping the knee a little bent. I want you to continue to straighten the knee once you're past it. Down to mid-shin. Did you guys see the knee move as he started to pull? That's a good sign. Now, a third thing we can look at is this bar path should be nice and straight or slightly back. I shouldn't see it bow around the knee. You still holding? Good job. Ready. Nice and slow, and stand. Straighten the knee, straighten the knee, straighten the knee. There we go. I like that nice straight leg. How'd he do on bar path? Pretty good. So, three different ways to look at that. One, we can analyze that back angle. Hips and shoulders can rise at the same rate. Two, we can watch the knee, and there is a too much, right? If you catch your athlete and they push the knee back, the legs are straight and they're bent over, that's too much leg drive. That's that stiff leg deadlift that we don't want. The knee should just move back slightly in order to get out of the way. Now, another thing that can make this easier for you guys to dial in on and see it, if I'm warming an athlete up or we're just teaching this movement, I can do what I did to the whole group and just take him from shin to knee. Having to look at less real estate makes that a little bit easier. So one last time, go down to mid-shin, and then you're gonna pause right when you get to the kneecap. And to the kneecap. Good, and back down mid-shin. I want to see the hips come up a little bit more when I say up to the knee. Up to the knee. That was better. Down to mid-shin. Again, push the knees back a little bit more. Up to the knee. Better. And back down to mid-shin. Now do we see how that back angle stays the same? And then we can have him pull. Nice, John. And stand all the way up. Good job. And relax.
Now that James has us dialed in on the mechanics of the deadlift, now what I'd like us to do is to listen to what Ray Regno is talking about with the breathing. And we can use this breathing to really make sure we're setting ourselves up for success and integrating that breath with our CrossFit or our CrossFit movement with our deadlifts.
We want to breathe in through the nose. And as you're breathing in, you're slowly creating tension. And then as you exhale through the mouth, you let the tension melt gradually. So it's not like a 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. It's literally a, and you dictate your movement based on your breath. That's super, super important. A lot of people hold their breath doing this exercise because they're trying to find tension, and that's not the point. We want to create a nice connection between the breath and the contraction, and not just this abrupt contraction. As far as the breathing, you also want to exhale longer than your inhale. And again, we want to breathe in through the nose and out through pursed lips. We like to start with what we call the main arch. The main arch is your core. Your core is composed of a few muscles. You have your abs, your six pack up here. You also have the lower abs in the bottom. You have your external obliques on the sides. You have your spinal erectors in the back. A lot of people in general like to favor their low back, and a lot of that is why people have back pain. If they're focusing too much on using their low back for everything, which a lot of people do, that's where your back pain comes from. You're only using a quarter of your body. That doesn't make sense. We want to also teach your body how to use the external obliques and the lower abs. As far as doing the oblique opener, we want to start with the lower abs first. And what we'll do is we'll try to breathe into the belly and push. And so what you can do is when you're playing around with this, I like to have people stand up first because it keeps it really simple. So you're going to put your thumbs in your sides. So if you find your belly button, you're going to find your sides right here and push in. And then your pointer fingers will go in just inside the hip bone and pressing into the low abs. So when you're breathing in, what you want to focus on is pressing the low abs out into the fingers. After you figure that part out, you're going to add in the external obliques. So you're going to breathe in through your nose and push your obliques out like you're trying to fill up a weight belt. If you're using a weight belt to support your low back, you're using it wrong. The point of the weight belt is to give you some kinesthetic awareness as to whether or not you're actually bracing. And bracing means pushing out, not sucking your abs in. We want to create a pyramid of stability. So stop making your waist really tiny, thinking you're bracing. It's actually the opposite way. Step 2, we want to find the external obliques. I actually like to just practice this while I'm standing in line in the grocery store. I'll put my thumbs in my sides, so right in here, and I'll just press out. Super easy way to practice the breathing part and getting the obliques to fire.
All right. Hopefully this has been helpful to you to have James go over the mechanics of the movement and then have Ray talk about the breathing so that we can have both of those things while we're lifting. And give us a try the next time you're doing deadlifts. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the gym. Take care and have a good day. Peace.